Hi, so now we are ready for our third recipe. This is a blueberry chestnut cornmeal skillet cake. Sounds pretty interesting, huh? So the Mediterranean way of eating aligns with cancer prevention guidelines and anti-inflammatory diet recommendations in that they all three promote lots of plant foods for their health protective compounds, the phytochemicals we talked about earlier, lots of fiber to regulate blood sugars and also feed the friendly bacteria we have living in our gut. That not only helps with decreasing inflammation, it also helps with our mental health and our gut-brain connection. And then a moderate intake of healthier fats like olive oils and avocados and what we get from nuts. So this recipe combines fruits, so nutrient-rich blueberries, with high fiber, protein-packed chestnuts that are also a good source of healthy fats. And this is a nutrient-dense dessert because it also contains some egg and yogurt. And it's a great way to end a meal, but it's also a great way to have as a snack. We know that some people have small appetites, and so this can function as a small snack during the day and get your protein intake that way. Okay, Jeremy, your turn.
Thanks, Daniela. Yes, so it's a long title. We know that, but we were inspired to make something. Yeah, it's a dessert, it's a snack, but like Daniela mentioned, it has more to it than just your regular, sweetened and tasty and delicious ingredients in a dessert. So this is actually an inspiration from a very traditional chestnut-based cake, and that you would find in Italy, and it's made with chestnut flour. It's pretty dense, but it has this combination of fruit and herbs like rosemary. So you have this like sweet and savory thing going on. But it's not as easy to find chestnut flour. And so I wanted to make something that was similar, but using cornmeal. So almost like cornbread. So it's sort of a hybrid of both in regards to the flavors as well. So we're gonna start off with our wet ingredients. In a bowl, and we're going to crack 2 eggs in here. If you don't eat eggs, this can be made with a flax egg. I've done it before with a flax egg, which is essentially ground flax, 1 tablespoon ground flax, 3 tablespoons of water. You let that sit. You won't get the same leavening, and then obviously the protein, like you mentioned, but it will work if you're looking for an alternative.
You may not get the same protein, but you'll get some omega-3 fatty acids and some fiber, and there still is a little bit of protein, so still nutritious.
There you go. Okay, 2 eggs, and then we're going for a full cup of yogurt here. I think it's a little more than a cup. It surprised me. This is why you should measure your ingredients out.
Until we become an expert like you.
Yeah. All right. So yogurt, just plain yogurt, so nothing sweetened. Put that through. Go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So instead of, usually in a cornbread, you would see butter. We're adding olive oil, keeping it more in line with that Mediterranean feel. And this would be more traditional to that chestnut cake that I was referencing before. And a little bit of honey. So we're going to get a little bit of sweetness, but definitely not a lot. So about 3 tablespoons. Honey, that's for the whole cake. And we'll whisk that through. And that is it for the liquid. Now we can go ahead and add our dry ingredients. So, first thing is our cornmeal. And this is sort of a medium coarse cornmeal. We're gonna have a full cup. This is a half cup measure. Full cup of the cornmeal, and then full cup of flour. You can definitely add like a whole grain flour if you wanted to this. If you do add a whole grain flour, then I would use a little bit less. Instead of a full cup, use like 3/4 of a cup, because it will absorb more of the moisture. Right, and then a teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of baking soda. And just more leavening ingredients. And then we will whisk this through. Let's get it better. There. I don't want to over whisk. Make this too dense, too tough. The cornmeal will keep it a little looser.
That was my next question as to whether you could use a mixer or food processor, but you want to be careful with the mixing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you definitely can use a mixer. I probably wouldn't use a food processor, but
Yeah.
if you have a whisk, like it's not a super fussy recipe. So personally, I don't want to wash a whole food mixer. So I'd rather not bother. So just use a whisk just until combined, and you have this like golden sort of batter, and it should be the consistency of like a little bit of a thicker pancake batter, but pretty close to that. Okay, so it has some movement, but it has some viscosity to it as well. All right, so that's our batter, and then to this is where we can sort of substitute different ingredients and add different things. We're adding blueberries.
And blueberries are great for they contain antioxidants called anthocyanins and ellagic acid or phytochemicals. So they're a great way to bump up the nutrient density of this dessert.
Full cup. And we added frozen blueberries to this. So again, Daniela, like this, would this fall in like the minimally processed with the frozen blueberries?
Definitely. So minimally processed, frozen fruits and vegetables fall into that category, and they're an acceptable part of the diet. Definitely.
Beautiful. And then the chestnuts. So again, drawing from that inspiration of that chestnut cake, this is the time. We're starting to see the fresh chestnuts in the grocery store. You can definitely roast your own for sure, but a more convenient option is just these backpacked chestnuts. They're a lot more affordable too, and they're already cooked. And again, just look at the ingredients just to make sure that there's nothing else added. It should just be chestnuts. So for this one, and it's interesting because it's not even advertised as organic, but it says organic roasted chestnuts as the ingredient, but they're just cooked. So again, Daniela, like a minimally processed, right? It's just cooked, but nothing else.
Exactly. There's no additives to it. So yeah.
And because they're soft and they're cooked, I'm just going to roughly break them up. About a cup of these chestnuts. And I love that it's not all uniform, right? You're going to have some big chunks in there. You're going to have some smaller pieces. And so you'll get that flavor of the chestnut throughout this skillet cake. But you don't need as much, which is nice. All right, now I'm gonna switch over to a rubber spatula or silicone spatula. and just gently fold in those blueberries and chestnuts. Again, I don't want to overmix. So once they're folded in, we're done. We're good to go. To the skillet. I'm using a skillet for this. You can definitely use even a regular baking pan, spring form, really any medium that is oven safe will work. What I will do first though is I will line this with parchment paper.
Your favorite.
Sorry?
I said your favorite.
If you haven't guessed already, if you haven't watched enough of our shows, parchment paper, and to make it fit a little bit easier, it's a skillet. Run it under a little bit of water, crumple it up.
Which is my favorite technique. I never thought of putting it underwater, but I love that it helps to form the pan, right?
Yeah.
Easier to more malleable, is that the word?
Yeah. Makes it more malleable so you can tuck it in. So we have it nice and tucked in. And then go ahead and add that batter.
Oh, it already looks so beautiful. The swirls, the purple swirls.
I know. And to be honest, this would make, like, we're gonna make this into a cake. This would make like the batter as is would be great for if you did want to make pancakes, like little griddle cakes, little griddle pancakes. You see some with cornmeal in it, and they're fantastic. They're really good as well. So, all right, I'm just gonna give it a little jig here, just to flatten it. But like the color too, like these swirls of the purple going through there, really, really awesome. And the last thing, again, a nod to this chestnut cake. You would see in some regions in Italy, there's a little bit of rosemary on top, which you might find odd. But with blueberries, rosemary is a really nice sort of alpine herb that pairs actually pretty well with blueberries. Pairs well with blueberries and it pairs well with chestnuts. So this is where we'll get that sort of sweet and savory nod. A little bit on there. And just to finish, like a teaspoon of olive oil, just gently drizzled on top. And this skillet cake is ready to go into the oven. So 350 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes. Take it out, put a knife or toothpick in it, and once it comes out clean, you know you were good to go. So do a little swap here.
Here comes the finished product. The magic of TV.
Magic.
Beautiful.
Our YouTube channel.
Our YouTube channel.
Here we have
beautiful.
Our little skillet cake. And what's nice again is with the parchment, it pulls right out of our pan, making cleanup that much easier. And I'll slide it right off the parchment. And this has been cooling for about 15 minutes or so. But there's the cake ready to go. Should we slice into it?
Yes, please. And Uber me a piece. one of our participants in a class once said that, and I thought, yeah, we need to find a way to send out some of these treats to our viewers and listeners, huh? Oh, looks beautiful.
And I don't know if you can see on there, but you see little pieces of chestnuts, and then the blueberries and the rosemary on top.
Now that you pointed out, I see the chestnuts. Yeah.
It's the smell with that rosemary and a little bit of that honey and the blueberry together is really nice, unique, a little bit different, but a really nice take. And to store this, I would cut this up into little pieces, freeze it solid, and then you can transfer it into a freezer bag, and that way you have these nice little leftovers, like, you know, as a little treat, even a little snack, right?
Yeah, I even as far as calling it a mini meal, just because we have the protein in there, we have some fruits, we have some grains, lots of fiber, protein. Yeah, it's excellent. Taste test.
I'm sorry. I don't usually. Oh, you had more tips, so I'm like, let me sneak it.
Oh yeah, no, no, you're
Wonderful.
glowing now
Yeah.
from all the nutrients in there.
I'm levitating about an inch off of the ground. You can't see it, but thank you again, Daniela. Well done, amazing show. Thank you everyone for joining us. How rude
Yes.
I'm talking with my mouth full, but
Yeah, I can say, you know, like this wraps up our discussion around Mediterranean way of eating. And if you want more information, we did do some sessions last year. I think it was May 2022. If you want to check that out, we have some more recipes on the Mediterranean way of eating, or on University Health Network, Patient Education section. You can find the most recent diet created by our dietitians in the Cardiac Center.
wonderful. And what we'll do is we'll create links. We'll have links for all these down below in the description section for the video, and then the full recipes with all of Daniela's nutrition tips and even the nutrition facts label will be posted on our website, and that's elixirkitchen.ca. It's usually a day following this live stream, so you can check that out as well. But thanks again for joining us. Join us again next month, the last class of 2023.
Oh my
I can't
gosh.
believe I'm saying this already,
Can't believe
but it is the third Thursday as I look up.
I know, me too.
21st.
Yeah, 21st.
21st.
Whoa, that's cutting it close, huh? Okay.
I'm sure we'll have some
Gonna be special.
recipes for that one. So don't forget to join us. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, please. And also that notification bell, and that will give you a heads up anytime we have a new video that comes out, or if we have another upcoming live class as we do. And that will keep you informed. But until December 21st, happy cooking and be well. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.